Welcome to Golden Rule Wisdom, a sanctuary where we discover that true strength lies in the gentle power of kindness. The story begins on a night when the heavens roared with fury, unleashing a storm that shook the earth beneath. Inside the fragile shelter, an old couple huddled together, until a faint cry pierced through the howling wind and rain. Opening the door to the tempest, they discovered a miracle: a small child wrapped in silk, abandoned to the elements. They brought the shivering soul into the warmth, unaware that this child would one day change the fate of many. Years flowed like a river, and the boy grew into a young man, strong of body and gentle of spirit. He worked the land with tireless dedication, treating every seed and every plant with the care one gives to family. Under his hands, the earth flourished, producing a harvest that was rich and vibrant, a stark contrast to the neighbors. But success often breeds envy in the hearts of those who are unwilling to put in the same hard labor. Instead of asking for his secret, they let bitterness take root, whispering dark words that poisoned their minds against him. When the moon was high, they crept into his sanctuary, trampling the life he had nurtured with such tender care. The morning sun revealed the devastation, yet he stood amidst the ruin without a single word of curses or rage. He simply knelt down and began to rebuild, believing that patience is a stronger shield than any weapon of war. They mocked his silence as a weakness, not realizing it takes a warrior's strength to remain calm in the face of cruelty. Seasons turned, and once again his barns were full, while those who sowed hatred found their own plates empty. Then nature turned harsh, the rains ceased, and the earth cracked open, leaving the entire village in desperate need. Hunger stalked the village like a predator, and pride was swallowed by the desperate cries of starving children and elders. He looked at his reserves, enough to last for years, and felt a heavy burden of responsibility in his heart. While the village slept in despair, he stayed awake, grinding grain and preparing food with his own tired hands. Under the cloak of darkness, he became a silent guardian, delivering life to the very doorsteps that had scorned him. They awoke to find sustenance, eating with ravenous hunger, yet their hearts remained blind to the source of their salvation. Even with full bellies, they cursed him by day, accusing him of hoarding while eating the very food he provided. He heard their venomous words, but his spirit remained untainted. For true charity seeks no applause and expects no gratitude. Then came a day when the ground trembled not from storms, but from the march of a grand royal procession. Fear gripped the hearts of the villagers as they bowed low, wondering what wrath or fortune the king had brought. The royal guards were not there to conquer, but to search for a lost treasure that had vanished many years ago. They entered the humble cottage, and their eyes fell upon the golden silk, the undeniable proof of a royal lineage. When the young man appeared, the soldiers did not arrest him, but fell to their knees in deep reverence. A wave of terror washed over the villagers as they realized the boy they tormented was the heir to the throne. He was whisked away to the palace, leaving behind a village that now trembled in the shadow of their own guilt. In the golden halls, tears of joy flowed as parents held the son they thought was lost to the storm forever. But joy turned to fury when the king learned of the cruelty his son had endured at the hands of commoners. With a voice like thunder, the king demanded justice, ordering his army to punish those who had scorned his blood. The prince fell to his knees, not in fear, but in mercy, grasping his father's hand to stay the coming wrath. The king paused, confused by this compassion, asking why he would save those who had only offered him pain. The young prince looked up, his eyes holding a wisdom far beyond his years, and spoke words of pure light. He remembered the nights he fed them, not because they deserved it, but because he refused to let darkness win. He said, "If I could forgive them when I was weak and they were cruel, why should I punish them now?" He continued, "True power is not used to crush the wicked, but to show them a better way to live." The king's anger dissolved like mist in the morning sun, replaced by a profound pride in the son he raised. Instead of soldiers, the king sent wagons of grain and tools, a royal decree of mercy inspired by the prince. The villagers watched as the royal carts arrived, bringing life instead of death, mercy instead of the judgment they expected. When the herald read the prince's words of forgiveness, silence fell over the crowd, heavier than any storm. Tears of shame washed away their envy as they realized the depth of the love they had so foolishly rejected. The prince's kindness broke the cycle of hate, teaching them to share and care for one another as he did. He returned not as a conqueror, but as a friend, walking among them in simple clothes, bridging the divide forever. They bowed now not out of fear for his title, but out of genuine reverence for the nobility of his soul. He held his foster parents close, honoring the humble hands that had shaped a king who understood the common man. Standing once more in the fields, he saw that the storm had passed, leaving behind a world made new by grace. Just as the fiercest storms eventually give way to the sun, so too does cruelty fade in the light of kindness. He took the hands that once destroyed his work and showed them that building together is the only path to peace. Inspired by his example, the village transformed, proving that one heart of gold can enrich an entire community of souls. He planted seeds of wisdom in the next generation, ensuring that the weeds of envy would never choke their hearts again. As the sun set, the village gathered in unity, a living testament to the victory of love over the darkness of hate. Jealousy is a fire that burns the one who holds it, but kindness is a light that guides everyone home. He looked toward the future, knowing that his greatest conquest was not a kingdom, but the hearts of his people. Those who once plotted his downfall became his strongest defenders, bound not by duty, but by the gratitude of redemption. When we return hate with love, we dissolve the enemy and create a friend, turning a battlefield into a garden. He bridged two worlds, showing that nobility is not found in bloodlines, but in the content of one's character. Happiness returned to the land, not because of wealth, but because forgiveness had washed away the stains of the past. Cruelty is but a passing storm, loud and frightening, but it eventually exhausts itself and fades into nothingness. Kindness, however, is like the lighthouse, standing firm against the waves, guiding lost ships to the safety of the shore. Decades later, he became a legend, not for the wars he fought, but for the forgiveness he so freely gave. His story was written in the annals of time, a golden chapter proving that soft words can break hard bones. The kingdom flourished as never before, for the land itself seemed to respond to the harmony of its people. He passed this wisdom down, ensuring that the golden rule would guide the hearts of kings yet to be born. Do not let the harshness of the world harden your heart or steal the warmth of your gentle smile. Instead, use your light to change the world, one act of kindness, one moment of forgiveness at a time. Like a flame shared among candles, your goodness does not diminish when shared. It only makes the world brighter. Remember the humble cottage in the storm, and know that even in the darkest night a miracle can be found. Be patient with the ignorant, forgive the hateful, and stand strong in your virtue, for this is the true victory. We are all connected in this journey of life, and lifting others up is the only way to rise ourselves. May you carry this story in your heart, using it as a shield against bitterness and a map to peace. Let this truth guide your steps. No matter the storm, no matter the pain, kindness simply never fails. Thank you for watching Golden Rule Wisdom. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and share the light.